The Dayton Christmas killings. In the winter of 1992, Dayton, Ohio, which was a tranquil and festively adorned town, was savoring the last moments before the grand holiday festivities. Pop-up shops emerged and the locals leisurely shopped for gifts, while the courthouse square gleamed with festive lights. Yet, an impending nightmare lurked within the shadows. In search of excitement and driven by boredom, a quartet of teenagers and young adults, self-dubbed the Downtown Posse, set the stage for a chilling murder spree. At the helm of this disturbing plan was 19-year-old Marvelous Keene. Alongside him was his 16-year-old girlfriend, Laura Taylor. The duo found companionship in 19-year-old DeMarcus Smith and his 20-year-old girlfriend, Heather Matthews. The rampage initiated on Christmas Eve and persisted until December the 26th, when a vigilant police officer identified their pilfered vehicle and apprehended the perpetrators. Throughout their murderous spree, 6 individuals lost their lives and 2 others were left injured. The aftermath of this tragedy not only inflicted profound grief upon the victims' families, but also left an enduring scar on the city. Labeled as never forgotten, the Dayton Christmas killings were deemed the most heinous crime spree in the history of Dayton, Ohio. It all began on Christmas Eve, December the 24th. The group commenced their sinister activities. Their initial target was 34-year-old Joseph Wilkerson, a General Motors worker. Convinced that Wilkerson could be enticed and manipulated by Heather and Laura, they devised a plan to lure him in and rob him. The 2 young women contacted Wilkerson, enticing him with promises of a sexual encounter. However, returning home, an unexpected and sinister surprise awaited him. The 2 girls in the group swiftly immobilized him, securing him to his headboard with electrical cords. As he lay bound, other members of the group ransacked his house, stumbling upon a .32 caliber Derringer. Tragically, this firearm became the instrument used to fatally shoot Wilkerson in his chest. During the subsequent trial, Matthews claimed that Taylor had taken a .25 caliber gun and delivered a second fatal shot to Wilkerson, this time targeting his head. Following the gruesome act, the group didn't hastily retreat. Instead, they made Wilkerson's residence their temporary haven, engaging in parties and strategically using it as their operational base for the next 3 days. To compound their crimes, they absconded with his car, using it as a means to extend their spree by cruising around the town. Regrettably, the spree of violence didn't stop that fateful night. The group's next target emerged as a woman using a payphone near a neighborhood market in West Dayton, making another tragic chapter in their disturbing sequence of events. Danita Gillette, an 18-year-old mother with a 2-year-old daughter, tragically encountered a nightmarish ordeal. While using a payphone, she was confronted by the gang members demanding her belongings. Despite complying, Gillette was carelessly shot 5 times by the group. Remarkably, she initially survived the attack, but was later declared dead on her way to the hospital. The assailants callously stripped Gillette of her shoes, her backpack, her coat, and a mere 50 cents before moving on to their next sinister plan on Christmas Eve. Their target was Jeffrey Wright, the ex-boyfriend of Heather Matthews. Locating right outside of his residence, DeMarcus Smith mercilessly shot him in the legs 4 times. Miraculously, Wright managed to seek refuge at a neighbor's house, escaping the clutches of his assailants. Following this failed attempt, the group retreated back to Wilkerson's house to spend the night. Despite this, their violent spree persisted into Christmas Day. This time, their focus shifted to Richard Maddox, who was a deliberate target. Maddox had a past connection with Laura Taylor, who was now involved with Marvelous Keene. The chilling events unfolded as the group continued with their merciless rampage. Taylor deceived Maddox into leaving his parents' house for a drive, using Maddox's car. Unbeknownst to Maddox, Keene, Smith, and Matthews discreetly was following their car. As they made the journey, Maddox grew suspicious of the car trailing them. Acting on his instincts, Maddox accelerated abruptly. However, Taylor swiftly brandished a Derringer rifle, pressing it against Maddox's right temple, and she pulled the trigger. Taylor managed to exit the vehicle just before it crashed into a tree on Benton Avenue, surviving the crash and escaping. Unfortunately, Maddox did not describe the gunshot wound that he received. Their subsequent victim wouldn't emerge until the following day, on December 26th. The group had now targeted the Shortstop Mini Market, which is a family-owned shop on West 5th Street. Laura Taylor entered first, surveying the surroundings. Before the store counter was Sarah Abraham, a 36-year-old mother of 3. Following Taylor, DeMarcus Smith and Marvelous Keene entered. Keene lethally shot Abraham twice in the head, using bullets reminiscent of those employed in the murder of Danita Gillette. However, Abraham was not the sole individual present in the store. Jones Pettus suffered gunshot wounds to the hand and stomach during the incident. Although Pettus managed to survive, Abraham surprised and succumbed to her injuries and passed away 5 days later. Surprisingly, the gang's spoils from this heinous act was just a mere $44. It is essential to note that the 4 mentioned earlier were not the sole members of the gang. They were the leaders. The gang's ruthless spree claimed the lives of 2 more individuals, Wendy Cottrell, aged 16, and Marvin Washington, aged 19. Heather Matthews, testifying on the witness stand, revealed that the gang perceived Wendy and Marvin as potential witnesses who could incriminate them. Fearing their exposure, the decision was made to eliminate Wendy and Marvin, branding them as potential police informants. Following Sarah Abraham's murder, the gang picked up Wendy and Marvin, even stopping to purchase beer and wine. Their journey continued until Marvelous Keene announced the need for a restroom break. Parking on a gravel yard along Richley Avenue, the pair was forcibly taken out of the car and positioned behind a substantial dirt pile. It was there that the 2 met their tragic end. The discovery of Wendy and Marvin's lifeless bodies only occurred after the gang was apprehended. The group had been exchanging plates and cars, finding themselves in need of a new vehicle every now and then. They decided to visit a gas station on Salem Avenue. During their stop, a woman narrowly avoided becoming the seventh victim of their crime spree. Despite being robbed at gunpoint, she managed to escape, prompting the group to take her Dodge Shadow and switch license plates with the abandoned vehicle. Dayton Police Sergeant John Huber, while on patrol, noticed a suspicious vehicle that was reported stolen. Requesting a plate check, he discovered a mismatch, leading other deputies to assist in apprehending the gang. Only later did Sergeant Huber discover that his life had been in danger during the gang's capture. Laura Taylor had instructed Marvelous Keene to shoot him, but Marvelous Keene did not carry out this order. Marvelous Keene, the leader of the downtown posse, was sentenced to death and executed by lethal injection on July the 21st, 2009. During his execution, when given the opportunity for a last word, Marvelous Keene simply stated, "No, I have no last words." The remaining three members received life sentences. Laura Taylor and Heather Matthews are serving their sentences at the Ohio Reformatory for Women, while DeMarcus Smith is incarcerated at the Mansfield Correctional Institute. In 2021, Laura Taylor had the opportunity for parole due to new laws that affected life sentences for crimes committed by minors. This appears to have been denied, as she remains incarcerated at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. Laura Taylor's next parole eligibility date is in 2026. Let's hope she never gets parole and she rots in hell. Thanks for watching.